Hi guys, welcome back to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandiyta Khemka.
And I'm Yatin Mota.
Well, Yatin, we built on yesterday's gains, and in fact today once again we saw a triple-digit up move coming in on the index. So the Nifty ended above that 19,800 mark, and of course, most of the sectors ended the day in the green. Of course, aside of the IT pack that started out pretty well, but caution ahead of TCS's second quarter earnings is something that made the index give up most of the gains, and in fact the index did end the day in the red aside of PSU banks as well. Realty was one pocket that stood out today as well. You had FMCG, autos, these two pockets also doing fairly well. Advanced decline ratio on the NSE was somewhere around 2:1. Mid and small cap indices also did pretty well, given the fact that both of the indices have gained in excess of 1% or thereabouts. On the Nifty, among the key gainers, you had the likes of Hero, Wipro, Ultratech, Grasim and Reliance Industries. That, by the way, surged to day's high towards the end of the session. On the losing end, you have HCL Tech, you have TCS, of course, ahead of, in the wake of caution ahead of its second quarter numbers. You have Coal India, SBI, and Adani Ports among the key losers in today's session. But Yatin, what were the movers in the mid-cap end of the market?
Nandita, if you look at the mid-caps, again there was stock-specific action, and if you look at the market breadth also, it was quite favorable. If you look at the mid-cap indices, they were up almost 0.8% in the case of small caps and 0.5% up for the mid-caps. Obviously, from the day it has some bit of profit taking, but if you look at the gainers, Idea Cellular, that was the top F&O gainer, stock was up 7%, Tanla Solutions, Wellspun India, APL, which is Alembic Pharma, that stock was up nearly 5.5%. Lakshmi Chemicals also one of the top gainers, gaining by over 10%. What was not doing well is SW Solar. They had postponed the quarterly earnings, post which the stock was down 5%. Bank of Baroda, RBI has stopped the bank from onboarding new clients and customers on its BOB World app because of some glitches, and after the glitches are resolved, post which Bank of Baroda could normalize the services, but there is some issue in the app because of which the stock was down 3.5%, which has a customer base, active customer base of nearly 3 crore users. ICICI Pru Life and GSW Energy were the other losers in the mid-cap segment today.
Yes, Yatin, let's talk about the IT pack, particularly TCS, given the fact that we will be getting the numbers anytime post 4:15 p.m. Of course, if you look at the estimates, Yatin, revenue growth is likely to be muted once again. Dollar revenues are seen up 0.7% or thereabouts on a quarter-on-quarter basis. In fact, CC revenue growth that was at 0% last quarter, it's expected to grow 0.8% this time around. And TCV, Kotak estimates TCV to cross $12 billion. Last quarter, it was in excess of $10 billion. Of course, you had some very strong deal wins in the quarter gone by, from the likes of JLR as well. So that could, boost the TCV. And of course, EBIT margins, if you see those, expected at 23.6% vis-a-vis 23.16%. Profit likely to grow at 0.8% or thereabouts, again on a quarter-on-quarter basis. What will be watched out for, of course, will be the, outlook on demand, and whether or not H2 will be, the time when the company sees some bit of recovery. And of course, there's been some major changes in Street will be watching out for any change in strategy, given the fact that we have had the first mega organizational restructuring under new CEO K. Krithivasan, right? So that's something that the Street will be watching out for, any change in strategy, and of course the share buyback. That's something that the Street will be really focusing in on, given the fact that expectations are that buyback could range from anywhere between 19,000 to 20,000 crore rupees, and the buyback price is something that the Street will be keenly watching out for.
Absolutely, and the analysts estimate that the buyback size could be anywhere between 18 to 21,000 crores, given the fact that typically every second year TCS announces a buyback and uses nearly 33% of cash on books for the purpose of buyback. 1 lakh crore is the kind of net worth, so probably they can announce a buyback in excess of 20,000 crores as well. Obviously, TCS results will be out anytime soon, and we will get you the analysis first on Moneycontrol and CNBC Awaaz. But meanwhile, real estate stocks have also surged to a 15-year high level. The real estate index has been showing some momentum. Today also, a lot of real estate stocks were doing well. SUntech Realty being one of the top gainers today. Jefferies today raised the price of SUntech Realty to a level of 555. They do believe that the affordable housing segment and the mid-income segment, wherein SUntech Realty plans to build over 20,000 houses, should benefit the company in the short to medium term. In fact, the government is also set to push its agenda towards affordable housing segment, which will probably help SUntech Realty as a company because it's positioned itself in that particular segment. Sales in the affordable housing segment have lagged the ongoing housing boom. However, with 75% of SUntech's portfolio geared towards the segment, growth should accelerate according to Jefferies, and the hopes that the low cost housing segment and the affordable housing segment sales also pick up. Jefferies today has increased the target price for SUntech Realty.
All right, that was about SUntech Realty. Of course, realty stocks have been, perched on solid ground. You have the likes of Prestige Estates, DLF, all the stocks flying high, over the last few sessions. But let's also talk about some of the auto names, on particularly TVS Motor on my radar this afternoon, given the fact that we've had a very positive report coming in from DAM Capital. Remember, yesterday DAM Capital, came out with a report on escorts where they raised the target price by somewhere around 60% or thereabouts. Today, they have reiterated their buy stance on, TVS Motor, and once again, they have raised the target price by in excess of 60% or thereabouts. In fact, target price has been raised to somewhere around 3,051 rupees versus 1875. In fact, DAM Capital values the core business of TVS Motors at somewhere around 35 times FY26 earnings estimate at 2,826 rupees, and in fact, it gives a 225 rupees. In fact, what do you call it, allocation to the subsidiaries. It says that the re-rating could be likely on the back of strong margin trajectory going forward and improving return ratios of the company. In fact, it says that the export end of the market for TVS Motor is doing pretty well. In fact, export contribution has in fact doubled in the last 5 years with a volume CAGR of somewhere around 13.4%. And it is actually gradually emerging as a key export engine. And of course, we have the festive season upon us. So, festive sales are likely to boost the two-wheeler business of TVS Motors. And when you look at the market share for electric two-wheelers, that stands at 19% for TVS Motors. So, all in all, a very positive report coming in from DAM Capital on TVS. In fact, if you look at the stock, it has surged somewhere around 40% on a YTD basis. And, Yatin, if you look at, compare TVS with other two-wheelers, you will see that it's one of the most expensive within the two-wheeler pack, as the stock is trading at somewhere around 30 times 1 year forward earnings.
Absolutely, and TVS Motors, the stock is on a tear, and brokerages generally have been steadily increasing target price on this particular stock, plus the kind of electric vehicle portfolio, the scooter portfolio that they have should get their sales moving in the coming quarters. With that, Nandiyta, it's time for the Moneycontrol Mutual Fund Summit.
That's correct. I'll be heading to the summit from here. In fact, we start off at 4 p.m. So tune in for that. And of course, we'll have a lot of panel discussions, a lot of discussions with, experts from the industry, from the mutual fund industry, as well as, a lot of market voices as well. So tune in for that 4 p.m. onwards. But for now, it's a goodbye from me and Yatin. Thanks a lot for tuning in. For all your other news and updates, stay tuned to Moneycontrol.